If you're 50 with less than 500,000 saved, this might terrify you. Not because of money itself, but because of the truth hiding behind it. The truth that time is whispering, wake up, your body is your real wealth. And most people don't hear that whisper until it's shouting. But you're here, listening, and that tells me one thing: your spirit is awake, and you're ready to reclaim your power. I want you to imagine this for a moment. Imagine being 60, 70, 80, still moving with strength, still walking without pain, still breathing deep without fear. Imagine having a body that supports you, not scares you. Because the real danger at 50 isn't the number in your bank account, it's the unseen bill your body will hand you if you neglect it. Health debt collects interest faster than any financial loan, and the universe always collects, unless you shift your vibration now. You've been told your best years are behind you, but that's a lie that weakens the soul. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every thought is a seed, every belief a command. When you speak "I'm too old," your body obeys. When you say it's too late, your energy contracts. But when you affirm, "My cells are renewing, my strength is returning, my path is unfolding," life rearranges itself to match your declaration. So let me tell you the truth that may scare you at first. If you don't start caring for your body today, if you don't invest even a few minutes in your physical temple, the cost later will break your heart. Not just in medical bills, but in lost moments, lost mobility, lost joy. That's the real terror, not the money, the missed life. But here's the miracle. You can change direction right now. You can shift the entire story with one choice. Your body is not your enemy, it's your most loyal partner. It wants to heal, it wants to grow stronger, it's been waiting for you to believe again. Start with small sacred actions. A walk. Stretching, drinking water with gratitude instead of rushing through your day like your health is guaranteed. Speak to your body the way Shinn taught us to speak to the universe, with intention, with love, with certainty. Every day, in every way, my health expands, my vitality increases, life supports me in miraculous ways. You don't need $500,000 to become powerful. You don't need to be 20 to be radiant. What you need is a decision. A deep, soul-level decision that you will not sleepwalk through the rest of your life, that you will honor the body that carries your dreams, that you will step into the version of yourself who refuses to decline simply because society expects it. This isn't fear, it's awakening. And if you feel a little shaken, that means your spirit is stirring, stretching, remembering who you are. So take a breath, lift your chin. The universe responds to boldness, and today you've taken the first step. Your new chapter begins the moment you say, "I choose health. I choose strength. I choose life." Your body is your true lifelong wealth, and most people don't truly understand that until life forces them to. Money can come and go, savings can rise and fall, careers can shift, but the condition of your body is the one investment that follows you through every season of your life. When your body thrives, everything else becomes easier. When your body struggles, even the simplest moments become hard. At 50, this truth becomes crystal clear. You start to notice things you used to ignore: the stiffness in the morning, the slow recovery after a long day, the way your energy doesn't automatically refill like it used to. This is when people finally begin to realize that wealth isn't just stored in bank accounts. It's stored in your joints, your lungs, your muscles, your heart. It's stored in your ability to move freely, to walk without pain, to breathe deeply without effort, to live boldly without limitation. Your body is the vehicle through which you experience every beautiful thing in this world: the taste of food, the warmth of sunlight, the joy of laughter, the comfort of sleep, the excitement of adventure. All of it flows through the body. Without a strong, supported, cared-for body, even the simplest pleasures become fragile. And yet, for years, society teaches us to chase financial wealth first, leaving health as an afterthought. People fight for promotions, stress over bills, push through exhaustion, ignore warning signs, all while treating their body like it will simply wait patiently until they decide to pay attention. But the body doesn't wait, it responds in real time. Every choice you make either adds to your health account or quietly subtracts from it. By the time you reach 50, your body carries the record of every habit you've practiced, every belief you've lived by, every choice you've made, and every choice you've avoided. The body is honest. It doesn't lie, it doesn't hide, it doesn't pretend. It reflects your investment with absolute accuracy. That's why people with modest financial savings but strong bodies often live with more freedom, more joy, more ease, and more confidence than people who have money but suffer physically. Health gives you mobility, clarity, resilience, independence. It gives you the ability to work if you choose, to rest when you want, to travel, to play, to connect, to create, to enjoy. Money without health becomes a cage. Health without money still grants you access to a full and meaningful life. When you realize your body is your true wealth, everything shifts. You stop treating exercise like a chore and start treating it like an investment. You stop viewing rest as laziness and begin seeing it as a required deposit into your physical bank. You stop punishing your body with harsh words and begin speaking to it with the kindness and encouragement it has always deserved. You stop waiting for the perfect moment to start taking care of yourself and understand that the perfect moment is always now. What you feed your body becomes the fuel for the life you build. What you believe about your body becomes the blueprint it follows. What you practice daily becomes your reality. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the universe responds to the vibration of your thoughts, and your body responds the same way. When you speak strength, your body works to match it. When you speak decline, your body starts to fold into that expectation. At 50, this truth becomes even more powerful because your body listens closely. It responds with precision. It mirrors your words, your habits, and your intentions. Your body is the foundation upon which every dream, every goal, every relationship, and every experience rests. You can rebuild finances, reinvent careers, start over again and again, but you only get one body. You only get one home for your spirit. And when you choose to treat that body like the precious, irreplaceable treasure it is, life begins to open for you in the most extraordinary ways. Health debt grows faster than financial debt, and most people don't feel the weight of it until it's already pressing on their shoulders. The body keeps perfect records, quietly tallying every late payment, every ignored signal, every skipped workout, every night of poor sleep, every moment of stress you absorbed without release. While financial debt shows up on statements and screens, health debt shows up in fatigue, in stiffness, in worry, in the way you wake up feeling older than your age. And unlike money, you can't negotiate with the body. You can't refinance the past. You can't hide anything from it. It charges interest daily, sometimes silently, sometimes loudly, and the bill always comes due at the most inconvenient time. People at 50% often feel this interest accumulating in ways they didn't expect. They think back to their 30s and 40s, remembering when their body could bounce back fast, when they felt invincible, when they believed they had endless time to start taking care of themselves. But time is the great accountant, and it never forgets what you deposit and what you withdraw. Health debt builds the same way financial debt does, slowly at first, almost unnoticed, just a few minor aches, a little less energy, a small increase in weight, a slight shortness of breath on the stairs. You tell yourself it's normal, it's age, it's stress, it's temporary. But then the interest adds up. What used to be a minor inconvenience becomes a daily obstacle. What used to be a little stiffness becomes a nagging pain. What used to be a low-energy day becomes a low-energy life. And the most challenging part is that people often don't realize how deep they've gone into health debt until they need to withdraw strength that simply isn't there. They reach for mobility, for endurance, for flexibility, for resilience, and discover the account is nearly empty. At 50, this awareness can strike hard. You begin to understand that every unhealthy meal wasn't just a moment of indulgence, it was a withdrawal. Every skipped workout wasn't just a missed day, it was interest added. Every stressful week without recovery wasn't just fatigue, it was a loan taken out at a rate you never agreed to. And while financial debt can sometimes be paid off quickly, health debt requires patience, consistency, humility, and a willingness to turn inward. The body doesn't punish you, it simply responds. It reveals the truth of how you've lived, but it also responds beautifully when you decide to change direction. What makes health debt more dangerous than financial debt is that most people underestimate its cost until it affects the core of their life. Medical bills, prescriptions, treatments, limitations, missed opportunities, reduced mobility, emotional stress. They add up far faster than anyone expects. Some people spend thousands trying to fix issues that could have been prevented with small, inexpensive habits practiced earlier. And that's the heartbreak. Not the money lost, but the time lost, the freedom lost, the comfort lost. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every action and every thought creates a ripple in your life. Health is no exception. If you've spent years affirming, "I don't have time," your body eventually reflects the truth of that affirmation. If you've convinced yourself that you'll start later, the universe mirrors that delay. But the moment you decide, "I choose vitality now," you change the trajectory of your health debt. You stop digging the hole deeper and start slowly, lovingly filling it. And here's the miracle woven into this truth. Health debt can be reversed, softened, rewritten. The body is incredibly forgiving when you begin to work with it instead of against it. Even at 50, 60, 70, the body responds with gratitude to better choices. Muscles strengthen, joints loosen, lungs expand. Energy rises, sleep improves, healing accelerates. Every positive action becomes a deposit. Every moment of movement becomes interest earned. Every intentional breath becomes payment toward your future well-being. And the more consistent you become, the more your health account grows, giving you reserves of strength you may not have felt in years. Your beliefs shape your physical reality in ways far deeper and more powerful than most people ever realize. Every thought, every expectation, every quiet assumption you carry about your health becomes a message the body receives and responds to. The body is always listening, always adjusting, always mirroring the instructions you send it. When you believe you are declining, your body begins to behave as if decline is the only path available. When you believe age automatically brings weakness or pain, you unknowingly invite that experience into your cells. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that life is a game of words and thoughts, and the body is one of the most responsive players in that game. It acts on your beliefs long before you notice the results. People often think their physical limitations arrive suddenly, but in truth, many of them began as quiet beliefs held for years, beliefs repeated in subtle ways, beliefs absorbed from society, from friends, from family, from the world around them. You see this most clearly around the age of 50. People begin to make jokes about getting old, start saying things like, "My body isn't what it used to be, everything hurts now, it's downhill from here." Without realizing, these statements are affirmations. The body hears those declarations as commands. It interprets them as instructions. The subconscious mind, which governs your physical responses, doesn't differentiate between a joke and a truth. It simply builds the body in alignment with whatever beliefs you feed it. When you constantly affirm that decline is inevitable, the subconscious begins preparing for that decline. Muscles become less responsive, energy levels drop, mobility decreases, and healing slows, not only from age but from expectation. On the other hand, when you speak strength, when you affirm vitality, when you believe your body is capable of regeneration, improvement, and resilience, your body aligns with that belief. This isn't wishful thinking, it is the science of mind-body connection, the spiritual law of assumption, the neurological truth that thoughts change physiology. The brain creates pathways based on repetition, and those pathways influence hormone levels, stress responses, inflammation, pain perception, and even cellular repair. The body constantly remodels itself, and your beliefs are part of the blueprint it follows. Think about the difference between someone who believes life is over at 50 and someone who believes 50 is the beginning of a powerful new chapter. Their actions differ, their habits differ, their energy differs, and so their bodies follow suit. One person may approach movement with hesitation, expecting discomfort, expecting limitation, expecting their best days are behind them. The other approaches movement with curiosity, excitement, and confidence, which activates entirely different biological responses. Belief isn't just a mental concept. It becomes muscle tone, posture, breathing patterns, digestion, mood, and overall vitality. Many people grew up hearing negative beliefs about aging and health. They absorbed the idea that aging guarantees suffering, that illness is unpredictable and unavoidable, that the body weakens simply because of time. These beliefs settle into the subconscious and quietly shape physiology for decades. By the time someone reaches 50, the impact of those beliefs becomes visible, not because the body has betrayed them, but because they were unknowingly programming it with fear, limitation, and resignation. The beauty of this truth is that the moment you recognize it, you can rewrite the script. You can begin feeding your subconscious new instructions, new expectations, new affirmations that direct your body toward healing instead of decline. Florence Scovel Shinn often said that your word is your wand, and nowhere is that more evident than in how your body responds to what you speak. When you say, "My body grows stronger every day," you awaken strength. When you say, "I am flexible, energetic, and supported," you ignite those qualities within you. When you say, "My cells are renewing, my health is expanding," your subconscious begins reorganizing your biology to match that reality. Even small shifts in belief can create profound changes because the body is always ready to heal. It is always ready to improve. It is always searching for balance, and your beliefs give it the direction it needs. At 50, your beliefs become even more important because your body becomes more sensitive to the messages you send. It responds more quickly to negative expectations, but also more quickly to positive ones. When you choose beliefs that empower you, your body rises to meet them. When you choose beliefs that weaken you, your body follows that path. The choice is always in your hands, and the transformation begins the moment you decide to speak to your body with faith instead of fear, possibility instead of limitation, renewal instead of decline. Small daily actions create massive transformation, and this truth becomes clearer than ever once you reach the age where you can look back and see the patterns that shaped your life. People love to imagine that change comes from big gestures, dramatic decisions, grand resolutions, but real transformation is built quietly, humbly, in the moments no one notices. It's in the 5 minutes you move your body when you don't feel like it, the glass of water you choose instead of something that drains you, the stretch you do before bed, the walk you take at sunrise, the deep breath you use to calm your mind instead of letting stress take over. These tiny acts seem insignificant in the moment, but they compound in ways that are nothing short of miraculous. The body doesn't need perfection, it needs consistency. It doesn't need hours of pressure, it needs minutes of intention. And those minutes, repeated day after day, change everything. At 50, people often feel overwhelmed by the idea of getting healthy. They look at the distance between where they are and where they want to be, and think the mountain is too high to climb. But mountains aren't climbed in one giant step. They're climbed one small step at a time, and those steps, repeated with faith, create momentum. The beauty of small daily actions is that they bypass the resistance that keeps people stuck. The mind might fight a big drastic change, but it rarely resists something simple and gentle. A 2-minute stretch, 10 deep breaths, a short walk, a healthier snack, an earlier bedtime. These actions slip past the inner critic, past the fear, past the overwhelm, and they begin to build a new identity. An identity of someone who takes care of themselves, someone who shows up for their body, someone who honors their future. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every act, no matter how small, carries spiritual power when done with intention. The universe responds not to the size of the action, but to the energy behind it. When you choose even the smallest habit with a mindset of growth, healing, or renewal, you signal to your body and to life itself that you are ready for more. And life responds by opening doors, shifting your energy, amplifying your strength, and moving you toward the version of yourself you are becoming. It's easy to underestimate the effect of these tiny choices because the results aren't immediate. You don't gain strength after one walk. You don't improve flexibility after one stretch. You don't gain vitality after one healthy meal. But each choice places a deposit into your health account, and those deposits multiply over time. Most people spend years making small, unhealthy choices without realizing the impact. The late nights, the stress, the lack of movement, the processed foods, the constant rushing, none of it feels damaging in the moment. But after decades, those small daily actions build into noticeable issues: fatigue, stiffness, weight gain, inflammation, anxiety, sleep problems, and a general feeling of being disconnected from your own body. The same way small negative actions build decline, small positive actions build recovery. And the truly extraordinary part is that positive actions compound faster because the body is designed to heal. It is always trying to return to balance, and every healthy choice gives it the support it needs to do what it naturally wants to do. People often think transformation requires motivation, but in reality, it requires rhythm. Small actions done daily create a rhythm of health, and once that rhythm sets in, your body begins to crave what nourishes it. The walk that once felt like a burden becomes something you look forward to. The stretches that once felt uncomfortable become a source of relief. The healthy meals that once felt restrictive become deeply satisfying. Consistency reprograms your habits, your preferences, your mindset, and your physiology. What begins as discipline eventually becomes desire. When you understand the power of small daily actions, you stop waiting for the perfect moment to start. You stop looking for massive change and begin trusting the quiet magic of doing a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, a little bit the next day. And those little bits accumulate into energy, strength, confidence, and vitality. They reshape your body, your mind, and your future. They prove to you that you are capable of transformation at any age. And they remind you that the most powerful changes in life rarely announce themselves with fanfare. They begin with the smallest whisper of action, repeated with intention, until the whisper becomes a roar. It's never too late to reclaim strength and vitality, and this truth holds a kind of spiritual power that becomes more meaningful as you grow older. People often speak as though time has locked certain doors, as if opportunity fades with age, as if the body has a strict expiration date. But that is simply not how the human spirit works. The body is not a machine that breaks down and can't recover. It is a living, breathing, adapting miracle that responds to intention at any age. The moment you decide to return to your strength, your body begins to respond. Muscles wake up, energy stirs, motivation rises, and little by little, you start to remember who you are beneath the years of stress, exhaustion, and self-neglect. At 50, 60, 70, even 80, the spark of vitality is not gone. It is simply waiting for your invitation to rise again. The biggest trap people fall into is believing that if they didn't take perfect care of themselves earlier in life, the chance is gone forever. But the body isn't keeping score in the way your mind thinks it is. It's not punishing you. It's not holding grudges. It's not refusing to change. The body is always trying to help you heal, always working toward balance, always doing its best with what you give it. And the moment you give it even a little support, it responds. Strength returns faster than you expect. Flexibility improves with patience. Energy rises with consistency. Recovery accelerates when you remove the obstacles that have been weighing your system down. The body you have today is not your final body. It is simply the result of past choices, and new choices can create a new result. You can reclaim your vitality, because vitality isn't tied to age. It's tied to alignment. When you align your actions, your thoughts, your habits, and your beliefs with the idea that you are capable of renewal, you ignite a process that continues as long as you nurture it. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the moment you make the affirmation, the universe moves to fulfill it. The body operates on the same principle. When you affirm strength, strength begins to grow. When you affirm energy, energy starts to rise. When you affirm youthfulness, your cells respond in ways science is only beginning to understand. Your biology listens to your spirit, and your spirit is ageless. At 50, people often feel like they've crossed some invisible threshold where change becomes harder, but what really happens is that awareness becomes sharper. You begin to feel things you used to ignore. You begin to understand the cost of stress, of poor habits, of rushing through life without caring for yourself. That awareness is not a punishment, it's a blessing. It's a sign that your body is calling you back. It's a sign that your intuition is waking up and saying, there is more for you. There is life left to live, and I want you to be strong enough to live it fully. The desire to reclaim vitality is the first step. The willingness to act on it is the second. And once you take those 2 steps, the path unfolds in front of you. There are countless stories, real stories, of people in their 50s reversing chronic pain, people in their 60s building more muscle than they had in their 30s, people in their 70s improving heart health, people in their 80s increasing balance, strength, and mobility. They didn't achieve this because they were lucky. They achieved it because they refused to believe the lie that it was too late for them. They chose to see time as an ally, not an enemy. They chose to speak life into their bodies. They chose to take small steps every day, even when the progress felt slow, and the body rewarded them, because the body always rewards those who treat it with intention. When you say it's too late, you close doors that could have opened for you. When you say my best years are behind me, you create a reality that mirrors that belief. But when you say I am capable of renewal, my strength is returning, my body is healing, you give yourself permission to grow again. You create space for possibility, and possibility is powerful fuel. Your cells respond to hope, your hormones respond to optimism, your nervous system responds to calm self-belief. Your entire physiology shifts when you choose a narrative that empowers you instead of limiting you. You are never too old to start moving your body. You are never too old to build muscle. You are never too old to become flexible. You are never too old to improve your balance, your endurance, your health, or your mindset. You are never too old to feel alive again. And the moment you decide to reclaim that aliveness, the universe and your body meet you halfway.